If you spend any time on YouTube, you have seen the pitch. AI has created a new era of lazy wealth. The promise is that you can click a few buttons, deploy an AI agent, and generate passive income without breaking a sweat. There is a grain of truth to the hype. Tools like Cursor and Lovable actually do let a complete beginner build a fully functional app in an afternoon. The technical barrier to entry is gone. But here is the immediate drawback. If you can build a software product in 4 hours, so can a million other people. The result is instant commoditization. This chart shows exactly where the bottleneck went. Your cost of production has plummeted to near zero, but the cost of acquiring a paying customer has skyrocketed to an all-time high. When there are thousands of identical AI-generated apps flooding the market, the only way to get yours seen is to outspend everyone else on marketing. This leaves solo operators in a bind. Production is incredibly easy now, which means production is no longer where the actual money is made. AI democratized the ability to build things, but it did not democratize the ability to distribute them. Lazy wealth is a dangerous misnomer that ignores the real cost of getting noticed. We need to drop the word lazy entirely and talk about leverage instead. To find what actually works, we are going to evaluate the 7 most popular AI business models and measure them strictly on realistic return on investment versus the effort they demand. Success right now requires matching a specific model to the resources you actually have today, whether you are starting as a complete beginner, a creative, or a coder. Pursuing the wrong AI business model guarantees you will burn out long before you see financial freedom. Let's start with business-to-consumer, or B2C, models. The 2 most heavily promoted right now are AI SaaS and dropshipping. In the AI SaaS playbook, you use a vibe coding tool to clone an existing, successful product. Think of a calorie tracking app where users just snap a photo of their meal. This chart shows how to accurately judge these models. The vertical axis measures revenue potential, and the horizontal axis measures client acquisition difficulty. Notice where AI SaaS lands. It sits in the quadrant where the product is easy to build, but brutal to sell. Building the app is simple, but as a solo founder, you now have to compete directly against established tech giants and their massive ad budgets for user attention. The same dynamic applies to dropshipping. You hold zero inventory, lowering upfront risk. But looking at the matrix again, dropshipping lands in that same brutal quadrant. You are operating on razor-thin margins trying to capture consumers already exhausted by online ads. Mass-market B2C models are a trap for beginners. They demand advanced, highly capitalized marketing skills just to survive the competition. Our second category shifts to media and content creation. This involves building digital avatars and faceless YouTube channels. Tools like OmniHuman have mechanically solved video production. You can now generate endless, high-quality talking head videos for practically zero cost. But there is a severe risk here. If you rely solely on the tools, you produce what the industry calls AI slop. YouTube and Instagram algorithms actively identify and suppress mass-produced, low-effort content. Here is the reality of this model. The AI handles the rendering, but it cannot manufacture taste. You still have to do the heavy lifting of script writing and pacing to keep a human audience from scrolling past. When we update our matrix, AI content plots very high for revenue potential. But look at this wide horizontal band. It represents massive variance in how hard it is to build an audience. This model is highly lucrative, but only for creators willing to endure 6 to 12 months of unpaid work while they build genuine intellectual property. That brings us to the final and most viable category, B2B service arbitrage. This includes selling AI-generated ads, websites, and voice calling agents. The core model is straightforward. You master specific generative tools to perform rapid, high-quality grunt work for legacy, offline businesses. Consider an AI voice agent. Using a platform like Vappy, you can configure an AI receptionist to handle inbound phone calls for a local restaurant. Every time a restaurant staff misses the phone during dinner rush, they lose a reservation. You are solving a direct, quantifiable revenue leak. On the matrix, B2B arbitrage stands apart. It lands squarely in the easy-to-build, easy-to-sell quadrant. Local business owners will eagerly pay for this result because they simply lack the time to sit down and learn how these AI tools work. The trade-off is that this is an active freelance or agency model. You have to handle client communication, pitch your services, and deliver results. It is not passive. If you want cash flow today, your highest probability of success lies in becoming a tech-enabled salesperson for traditional markets. Choosing the correct path is entirely a matter of diagnosing your own tolerance for specific types of friction. This scorecard maps out exactly which path you should take based on your unique starting position. For the time-poor hustler who needs revenue now, B2B services offer the fastest path, but it requires a specific kind of courage. You have to be willing to pick up the phone and cold call local business owners who aren't looking for you. The performance-first optimizer belongs in AI content, but success here is a game of pure endurance. You have to be comfortable working for months without a paycheck, while the algorithm decides if your creative IP is worth promoting. And for the capital-strapped builder, AI SaaS remains the ultimate prize. But you cannot simply clone a generic app. You have to do the intellectual labor of finding a hyper-niche, boring industry problem that no one else is looking at. The ultimate reality of the 2026 economy is this: AI upgrades your tools, but it does not remove the work. Pick the path where you are most willing to endure the friction of distribution, because the battle of production has already